From dominating as a young underdog to coming back from the dead, these are 6 times Tyson Fury embarrassed his opponents. Number 6. Derek Chisora. Tyson faced Derek for the first time way back in 2011, and the first time they met, the British and Commonwealth titles were on the line. Back then, Derek was a dominant figure in British boxing, and at age 27 was 5 years older than the up-and-coming Gypsy King. So of course, Derek was favored coming into the fight, but Tyson was hungry for victory. And despite Tyson's young age, his crazy technique was already very impressive. He was fighting non-stop back then and already had 14 pro victories to his name. This fight was a huge deal for Tyson, and it all went down at Wembley Arena, the mecca of British sports. 3 million people tuned in to watch the match on TV, hoping to watch Derek destroy his relatively unknown 22-year-old opponent. But that's not what happened that night. Instead, Fury turned up and used every weapon in his arsenal. Bold taunting, awkward jabs, and powerful counterpunching. It was one of the most exciting fights in either of their careers, but by the end of the night, there could only be one champion. Fury won the fight by unanimous decision, embarrassing the British legend. And to add insult to injury, Fury actually vacated both his titles to become the Irish champion, which led to another embarrassing night for an older man. Number 5. Martin Rogan. The Irish title had been recently vacated and it was looking for a new owner. The two contenders were Tyson, who'd symbolically vacated the British and Commonwealth titles, and Martin Rogan, a veteran heavyweight from Belfast. Rogan hadn't fought in over 18 months, and his recent fights had been against much lesser opponents than Fury, so he probably wasn't very happy about the matchup. Not only this, but Fury actually came into the fight as a southpaw for the very first time, which threw all of Rogan's plans out the window. Despite this, Martin got off to a strong start, winning the first 2 rounds. However, Tyson was too fast, too powerful, and knocked Rogan down in the 3rd round. It looked like there was no way out for Martin. Finally, Martin's corner threw in the towel in the 5th round, marking another dominant performance by the Gypsy King. Hey, at least Rogan didn't get it as bad as one of Fury's next victims. Number 4. Steve Cunningham. Tyson's road to the top was mind-blowing. Some of his most aggressive performances came in 2013 and 2014, when his dream of a title shot was getting very close. In April 2013, Fury faced Steve in New York on his home soil. A veteran boxer, 12 years older and more experienced than Tyson, Steve was ex-military, a very tough guy, and ready to give Tyson his greatest test across the pond. But Tyson was a man on a mission at that point and gave an epic press conference, even suggesting that Steve should get a sponsor for the bottom of his boots, because that's all that fans would see.
I'm just wondering if the bottom of Steve's boots have been sponsored, because as there's going to be a lot of people watching around the world, I'd like to put my Twitter account on the bottom of them so I can get more fans on Twitter. And I was wondering how much it's going to cost me to sponsor him.
Cunningham, of course, was desperate to prove that Tyson was all talk and started the fight with a bang. In round 2, he knocked Fury down. That day, Tyson proved to the world he had a chin made of steel. He got right back up and started to overpower Cunningham with huge shots. In round 7, Fury decided he was taking no prisoners and knocked Steve out with a nasty right hook. This was the first KO loss in Steve's entire career. After the fight, Steve complained that Tyson had used illegal techniques to win the fight. But the truth is, he was simply being a sore loser. And Tyson was amazing that night, period. Although, Fury would still need a few more wins before he could get a shot at the champ. Number 3. Christian Hammer. Like Steve Cunningham, Hammer had to face the horrible prospect of fighting Fury on the rise. Back then, a lot of big names were avoiding Tyson because of his awkward style and his terrifying power. Hammer was on a massive 20-fight win streak, and all he needed was a big name to make a huge statement. However, with Tyson, he was quite literally punching above his weight. Fury dominated Hammer from the first bell, taking every minute of every round to pick Hammer apart. In the 8th round, Hammer's team said enough and threw in the towel to save their fighter from a very severe beating. The impressive victory was exactly what Tyson needed to earn a shot at the title, and that title fight meant facing one of the greatest champions in heavyweight history. Number 2. Vladimir Klitschko. From the start, Tyson went hard at Klitschko, even before their fight, saying, "I ain't interested in all the titles and belts you've got on there. I'm interested in breaking your face in. That's what I'm interested in. You're boring. I want to rid you out of the heavyweight division. Your jab and grab style. Surely all of Europe wants to see you get beaten, and all of Europe and the rest of the world will see you get beaten. You have as much charisma as my underpants." Fury was outrageous talking like that to one of the greatest heavyweights ever. Klitschko hadn't been defeated in 11 years. He was a monster at the top of the division, and suddenly, out of nowhere, a fat English bully started calling him names. It's hard to tell if Klitschko didn't take Tyson seriously, or if Tyson's words actually stung. But on fight night, it was all Fury. Tyson put on an amazing performance, won the bout by unanimous decision, and became the heavyweight champion of the world. Klitschko fought once more and retired, so it looks like Fury's plan to get rid of him actually worked. Tyson's defeated many great boxers, but that was definitely one of the most painful and embarrassing to watch. However, the next fight on our list is Fury's greatest shocker ever. Number 1, Deontay Wilder. After he became the champ, Tyson described feeling like his life was over. He sank into a deep and dark depression because he felt like he had accomplished everything he set out to do and had nothing to live for. He abused alcohol, narcotics, and developed an affinity for nose candy in particular, often abandoning his family to party all night. Fury also ballooned to 400 pounds, and it looked like there was no coming back. Things got so bad for Tyson, he nearly took his own life. But one day, everything changed. And it was all because of one man, Deontay Wilder. Wilder said that Tyson was never coming back. And when Tyson saw that video, it was game on. Fury's comeback was heroic. And after 2 warm-up wins, Wilder versus Fury was officially confirmed. Deontay's a terrifying boxer, and he probably throws some of the most powerful punches in the world. However, Tyson was too smart for him and didn't give Deontay a chance to take him out, that is, of course, until the very last round. A brilliant right-left combination from Wilder left Tyson on his back. It looked bad for Fury, and Wilder even started celebrating. But somehow Tyson managed to get back on his feet, and he survived to the last bell. The judges called it a draw, which some felt was unfair to Tyson, who'd clearly been the better fighter. But at least we got to see those two greats face each other again. Not once, but twice. And on those occasions, Tyson was insane. In the first fight, Fury finally regained the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world after Wilder's corner wisely threw in the towel, and their last fight was in 2021, when Tyson finally put a huge end to their rivalry with a massive KO in the 11th round. Man, I bet Wilder was embarrassed about the time he spent 5 seconds celebrating a defeat that never happened. So there you have it, fight fans. From dominating as a young underdog to coming back from the dead, those were times Tyson Fury embarrassed his opponents.